another. I've heard all kind of horror stories of people who done tied 30 years in places and couldn't get help to keep their lights on during the winter. Keep their gas on, rather, during the winter. This was an elderly woman. True story. And wound up dying through that winter. You know, but she was told that if we help you, we got to help everybody. Well, isn't that what the call is? Verse 42 says, give to him that asketh thee, and from him that will borrow of thee turn out not thou away. Now here it is, they got it from them, from the people, but they won't give it back to the people when the people have a need. Now is that of Yah, or is that of the enemy? Come on, somebody. Verse 43 said, ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. Verse 44, but I say unto you, love your enemies. Well, they got armed guards around. It don't look like they about to love their enemies. It says, bless them that curse you, and do good to them that hate you. I done seen them throw people out of the church on their head. That don't look like blessing somebody that cursed them. And they wasn't even cursing them. They just disagreed with them. Oh, you got to go right now. But here the Messiah say, do good to them that hate you. And they ain't even hate them. They was actually a believer. Pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. Now, I don't know if they ever prayed for them or not. But they was the persecutors. This is not how this thing's supposed to work, y'all. We need to revisit the word. See, people are being pithoed. They're being convinced by argument. They're being induced by words. They're not being persuaded by the love of Elohim. They're not being persuaded by the word of Elohim. Verse 45 says that ye may be children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh the sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sendeth rain on the just and the unjust. How dare you treat his children that way? Because they don't have the understanding that you have.
That's it.
Because they don't have the material gain that you've gained. Oftentimes errantly. You know, the worldwide ecclesia really needs to take a look in the mirror. Because when they look in the mirror, they'll see the same thing we see when we look in the mirror. Flesh. Something that's contrary to the will of Elohim. Matthew 16 verses 24 and 25 says, then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. What did Yahushua mean, take up this cross and follow me? Well, throughout Scripture, man is likened unto trees. Amen? What was the cross made out of? Or the torture stake, if you would. Was it not made out of a tree? See, when Yahushua said, take up this torture stake and follow me, he was talking about that thing you see in the mirror. He was talking about that dwelling place that you see in the mirror. He was talking about taking that up. Well, where are we going to put it, Pastor Obadiah? You're going to put it on the altar. and let it be consumed by the consuming fire of Yahuwah Elohim and his son Yahshua the Messiah. See, you don't need it for life. When you look in the mirror, you're looking at your very own coffin. See, because this is nothing but a temporary dwelling of death. It's dead. It's just like a fish out the water. It may be flapping around and still moving, but it's good as dead. See, but that one that's born within you of Yahushua Messiah, that's the one that's alive. The one that is like a little child, that's become converted even as a little child, that's fathered from above, that's totally dependent upon Elohim. That's the one that has life. See, so you take up your torture stake and you follow Yahushua. Yahushua wasn't even on the stake when he said this. But he had already took up his torture stake. See, this is why the word teaches that all that will live godly will suffer persecution. This is why Brother Paul was saying, have the if I'm teaching circumcision, then why am I still suffering persecution? Have the offense of the torture stake or cross ceased? Surely it hasn't. See, because this cross that we bear is contrary to the will of Elohim. This is what he was just teaching. See, this cross that we bear is going to want to do the works of the flesh. Galatians 5:19 through 21 teaches us these works of the flesh. See, this torture state is going to torture us. How is it going to torture us? Because it's going to be trying to persuade us, pitho. It's going to be sending other people who's going to come into our lives and they're going to try to persuade us. Your flesh is already trying to persuade you to commit adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatreds, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, reveling, and such like. Of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. See, this is the torture stake that we have to carry. This is that thing that we look at in the mirror. This is what it wants to do. Does it not? This is what it wants to do. See, but we have to be as Messiah did, and we have to walk with this torture state. We have to carry it. How long did he carry it? Until he was no more. So how long do we have to carry it? Until we're no more. Until he's dead and buried. That's how long he had it. When he was taken off of it, he was buried. See, but a miraculous thing happened. He was raised up. And if we carry it and follow him, we'll be raised up as well. Let's take a look at some of these things. Because oftentimes, we read through Galations and we read this stuff and, we think we know what it means. But sometimes we don't really know what it means. We just think we know what it means. Lasciviousness. In the Greek, this is aselgia. Aselgia, thank you. Number 766, meaning unbridled lust. unbridled lust. You know, it's unbridled. It's just fancy free. You know, any and everybody. Witchcraft. This one's interesting. Pharmakia. Where we get the word pharmacist? Pharmacy? CVS? Oh, I'm sorry. Number 5331, meaning medication. The use or administering of drugs. Variance. Eris. Number 2054, meaning to dispute angrily. How many of you seen people at variance?
Oh, yeah.
Even talking about the word.
Oh, yes.
They talking about the word and they get at variance.
Yeah.
See, that's because they're trying to pitho you.
Yeah.
They're trying to persuade you via words and not via the love of Elohim.
Yeah.
Amen. Hello, somebody. Emulations. This one is really dear to my heart because this is the one that set me free from my addiction to gambling. Number 2205. And it means the act of attempting to equal or excel in qualities or actions. That is rivalry, desire of superiority, attended with effort to attain to it, competition. You see, it wasn't until I seen this that I really came into the understanding of what gambling was. You know, I used to have a real hard time getting over my gambling addiction because I felt that if I won, that y'all was blessing me. Hello, somebody.
Yeah.
And I felt that if I lost, you know, I must have did something wrong, so I was being cursed. Huh? Well, I'm telling the truth.
Hallelujah.
See, but when I learned through this word, and I seen that it was one of the lusts of the flesh, and it said the attended with effort to attain to it. Instead of that I just put money. You know, and I realized that, you know, when I'm at the poker table, I'm attending with effort to attain to the money that's in the middle of the pot.
That's right.
Or that pot that's in the middle of the table. I realized that the 5 bowling leagues I was in, that, you know, I was attending with effort to attain to that pot that was at the end of the league, trying to get that first place, as well as the jackpots that was for each night. See, this is when I really seen how gambling was against the word of Elohim. And if it wasn't for this, I probably would have never let it go, because I was convinced that, you know, I had read the word from cover to cover several times, and I seen nowhere in there that says, thou shalt not gamble. So I say, hey, if it's not against the word of Elohim, then, you know, it's not against me. I'm good. You know, y'all bless me. I'm going to try to get this jackpot. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. I would even pray for that jackpot. I ain't lying. I'm telling the truth. And I'm going to tell the truth some more. I was deceived.
Yeah.
Hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, pithoed, persuaded the wrong way. And I had a little credulity. I was a little too easily persuaded. You know, you didn't have to, it didn't take much to persuade me. What you want to pitch quarters? What you want to do? You know? You want to see who can run the fastest? Because I think I can beat you, you know? Yeah, I bet you I can. You know? I bet you I can do more push-ups than you. I would bet anything. I'm telling you the truth. I had it bad. I had it real bad. But this one right here, emulations, the same night that y'all revealed this to me, the same night they broke in my truck and stole all my new bowling equipment. Over $1,000 worth of bowling equipment. New balls, new bag, new shoes, all gone. Right, I mean, the very same, it wasn't like the next day or the next week, it was the same. They was probably in the truck taking it as I was learning this. So y'all made it emphatically clear. He made it emphatically clear what he was trying to tell me.
No doubt.
And I submitted.
Hallelujah.
I submitted.
Hallelujah.
Matter of fact, I quit that same week. Bam, I was all signed up to go in all these leagues coming up. I quit. A whole lot of folks was upset with me. They probably still upset. But y'all is happy. Amen.
Hallelujah. Yes.
Seditions. Dicostasia. Number 1370. Meaning dissension, division. This is one of the things that Yah hates. He hates those that causes division amongst his people. And hate is a strong word, but that's the word he uses, hate. You got to be real careful with this one. That's like this one that Brother Paul was telling them to cut off. He was causing division. Heresy, which is Ch.6 in the Greek number 139, meaning to choose, to select. Now, you never would have thought that meant that. I didn't. You know? See, but Yah has already chosen for us.
Yes.
See, when you choose, when you select something, then you're doing your will and not his will. We're to stick to his will. He's chosen for us.
Yeah.
He's chosen the things that we should do and shouldn't do. See, he's given us liberty to do them or not to do them, but he's already chosen what it is he would like us to do. Now it's just a matter of, are we going to choose to do it? Are we going to choose to do what he's chosen for us to do that's pleasing to him, or are we going to choose to do what we know that he doesn't want us to do, such as these lusts of the flesh? You know, see, when I understood emulations, the choice was made for me. For me to choose otherwise at that point would be heresy. Yah had already chosen when he gave me the understanding of his word. Amen? He's chosen for me. He's chosen for all of us. These things that we're running off,